right, here we are. Stand-up diet. Welcome to the table. How are you doing, Brady?
I'm doing really, really good.
Brady Smith, Dr. Brady Smith, and I am Amanda Arnold. We are the hosts of the Stand-up diet. It's been a week. How's your week been?
I have had some interesting things happened this week. I have been castrated.
Oh, that's right. They cut your balls off.
They're gone, and
so you had a vasectomy.
They are no more. I did, and I'm still a little sore. That was like almost a week ago, 6 days ago, but still, it's getting there. And
your balls are growing back.
They're, yeah.
They're like little smooth,
like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
They come back
like
wood.
little tiny ones that just sprout.
They have leaves on them.
And they have leaves on them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, congratulations on your not being able to procreate anymore.
Yeah, I got a nice break from work, though, so that was really good.
That's good.
I understand you had an exciting weekend.
I did.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about you.
I've been, I've headlined bars and stuff, but I did my first club headlining week at Harvey's Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon. Thank you.
Applause. Fantastic.
It's the B Club in town, but I feature at Helium. But the cool thing about Harvey's is I went through all the way through my 20s and started as a host, moved up to a feature, and being able to headline the weekend was awesome.
I was junior varsity on basketball until I quit finally in 10th grade. So
you got to stick.
B team's okay.
You got to stick to stuff.
Well,
I got bullied by an all-women's basketball team once. They hit me in the face with a basketball, and I was 32.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's a story from another podcast.
Okay.
Okay. Let us know if you want to hear more about that. No, it was fun. A lady puked in the dining room, though, after I got off stage. And I'm all excited, like, I'm the headliner. It's going to be great. Yeah. And then I walk into the dining room. There's puke on the floor. And I was like, oh, poor lady. And I felt bad for her until I went to walk out the door. And I opened the door with both of my hands flat on the glass. And I put my hands in her puke. It was devastating is the word that comes to mind. I was a vet tech for 5 years. I've touched a lot of dog butts and balls and things and abscesses, but I could feel like the shape of like chewed up chicken strips in it. And they drugged me in the kitchen and sprayed my hands off with the dish sprayer. And I was like, just pour bleach on it.
That's not good. Yeah. You gotta go crazy. Yeah, you gotta go.
It was fine
with that.
They looked like average working class people too, like just normal like people you'd go to a barbecue with. He looked like a successful tow truck driver, I guess. Like, you offered to give him $200 and they just, sent him on their way. But it was fun. It was a great weekend. I'm going to be at Helium the second week of October, Helium PDX, with Steve Trevino. So, who my brother thought was Lee Trevino, the golf player? Yeah, he was like, Correct. Why are you with a golf player? And I had to look who he was, but he's been in a lot of like movies and stuff. So,
oh, cool.
I'm letting my brother think it's Lee Trevino. I'm just going to let him think that.
That's fine.
I can tell by you don't know who Lee Trevino is, do you?
No.
Yeah, I'll have to. That was great.
I was agreeing with it, but
if you saw his picture, you'd know.
You saw through my.
You were blank faced. You're like,
oh yeah, that guy.
I forget that you're a couple years younger than me sometimes.
Yeah, I think I feel like if you showed me 4 pictures of different people, I could multiple choice get Lee Trevino right. I feel like if I saw who that was, I would get it right.
Pick the old white guy. Like that's what it would be.
There you go. That's what I was imagining, so that works out.
All right. Well, it's been a good week. Next week we'll start talking about some TV shows we're watching, but we both need to get caught up. Also,
yeah, if anybody listening wants to make any recommendations on TV shows that we should begin watching and discussing on the podcast, we will feature a segment that we will discuss the TV shows that we're watching, and we will only choose perfect TV shows that are amazing television.
Right now, it's Before 90 Days, which is
Before
perfect
the 90
garbage.
Days on TLC.
It is hot garbage. It is wonderful.
So good.
And you're going to start watching Maniac for me, so we can talk about that?
Maniac, I think, is what we're going to, that's a good idea. I'm excited about that one.
All right, well, let's get to our guest.
Can I do my dental giveaway really quick?
Oh, I would love that.
So we are going to start this new thing where we would
giving away grills.
Yeah, we would like to do a fantastic giveaway, which will probably take place close to Christmas. I want people to nominate an individual
that you would like Brady put some love in their mouth.
I'm going to love them so good. And
I love how you put up with me.
But I want an email that has a detailed reasonings, justification, why this person that you're nominating is a good candidate for complete overhaul of their dental situation. Not just I know what you're thinking. Stop it.
Nope. I'm gonna say pimp my mouth.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. That's in the same vein as what I thought you were thinking. So that works.
Well, you remember Pimp My Ride?
Oh, with Exhibit.
Yeah.
Of course I remember Pimp My Ride.
Well, Brady, Dr. Brady Smith, are you a DMD? What are you?
A DDS.
A DDS?
True.
Yeah. He's gonna pimp your mouth out. Like new teeth, old teeth.
Want to put a swimming pool in your molars?
Straighten your teeth.
Isn't that what Exhibit would do? He put like pools, like hot tubs in the back of your
I'm
truck?
trying to be so good. He's going to put hardwoods in that mouth. I'm so sorry. I can't. Okay, I'll stop. We're moving on.
No one's going to want to play this game anymore.
Yep. Okay, I'm so sorry.
So, no, but I will, we're not talking just fixing one or two teeth. I will completely, comprehensively save someone's mouth, rehabilitate someone's mouth, do whatever is necessary to put them back to normal, put them back together if they have fallen apart. So if you know anybody, please email us. You can go to our website and contact us through our website at thestandupdiet.com, or you can email us at thestandupdiet@gmail.com. And
if you've ever been to the dentist and you haven't had dental insurance, you don't know how much this could really change somebody's life. We are so judged. Unfortunately, we are so judged on our teeth and even just our health, like just eating, like comfort. Yeah. When I had that toothache the beginning of the year, it was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. So it's pretty awesome that you're doing this. Yeah.
So you must be a subscriber to the podcast to qualify and to nominate. So please subscribe to the podcast and then nominate. And
I'm excited. Nominate themselves?
You cannot nominate yourself.
Has to be a friend.
You have to be nominated by. You have to nominate somebody else.
So if you got a messed up mouth, you got to get a friend and be like, subscribe them and be like, here, I need you to.
Correct.
I need you to do this.
And then I'm really excited to sift through the nominations and look through, and we're going to try to figure out and this is something that we'll probably do 2 or 3 times a year. But the next one I'm going to try to do right around Christmas, depending on the nominations that we get. So
when we get your new teeth,
send them in.
You'll be flossing some new teeth.
That's right.
We hope to pick a good person. Oh, I don't think I have any more. I'm so sorry.
That's it. Now we can introduce our fantastic,
amazing
guest before you scare everyone away from my fantastic offer.
All I have is pretty and funny. So that's what you get. Okay. Our guest today is a good friend of mine, actually. I've actually had the privilege of working with him on the road. He has a new TV show out on Netflix called Cooking on High, which is really... Have you watched any episodes yet?
I watched 2 episodes. I did. I liked it. It was so interesting, and I did not know that you could do that much.
Ngaio Bealum, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for being here.
I've been wanting to talk for like 7 minutes.
I've
been sitting here so quietly.
You've been holding your breath the entire time, right?
My gosh. Pimp my grill, everybody.
Pimp my grill.
Amanda, if you could nominate me to have some work done, that would be great.
I can do that.
I'll follow your podcast.
It would be funny not to say anything, just nominate you, and Brady would be like,
Wait.
We could have just talked about this probably. You are also doing some cool stuff. You're in Portland right now.
I'm in Portland right now for the International Cannabis Business Conference. And also we're playing Lyle, Washington Saturday. So.
Oh, we are. And we're in Bend.
And we're in Bend.
I will be opening for you in Lyle, Washington at the Lyle Hotel, which has been on Ghost Hunters.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did they find any ghosts?
They never find ghosts.
If you don't know where Lyle is, it's right outside of White Salmon.
It's
like
right
to clear that up.
Oh, good.
Well,
I know White Salmon very well. I've been arrested there. So
what were you arrested for?
Driving on suspended license and possession of marijuana before it was legal.
He
pulled me over. It was late at night. He pulled me over because the light over my rear license plate was out.
Oh yeah,
and also because I'm black in the middle of the night.
I was like, that. I wish you wouldn't have said that because I was going to be like,
his reason.
That's not why
his excuse was. His excuse was.
You know, I have never been pulled over for being black.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Never happened to me.
Yeah, these things.
Oh,
one of those things.
Shoot.
And we're gonna try to reel it in because I had 2 comics, man. We have so many stories, but my festival.
Yes.
Being white, I have never been pulled over being black either. And on the way back from my festival, giving AJ Foster, he's a New York comic, who happens to be black, ride back to the airport.
Yes.
It was the first time I had experienced a horrible experience like that. We were going 65. I had my cruise control set.
In a 35?
No, like on the highway.
On the highway,
yeah,
where you're supposed to go 65 or
yep.
so.
And speed limit. And a state trooper did a U-turn.
Wow.
On, because it was a 2-lane highway, like one of the back roads
so
in the woods.
Flipped
it around, tires smoking. And AJ's Jay Farrow's feature, he's this real sweet, smiley kid, instantly sat up real straight. And I'm not where he is mentally at.
You didn't notice.
Yeah, I was just like, we're getting pulled over, and I was like, okay, so can you grab me the registration and the rental? It was a rental car out of the glove box, and he looked at me. He's like, man, what?
No.
He said no.
No.
He was like, I need you to take this seriously.
Yeah.
We're in
Sit
the
still.
woods.
Wait.
Yeah, he said, be
yeah.
nice. Don't even argue about it. Because I was already like, I know my cruise. He was like, no cruise control. And that cop didn't look at me. He did not look at me.
No.
He looked right past me at AHA.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then what was the only funny part of it is when the cop leaves,
Did you get a warning?
I got a warning.
Yeah.
A warning to
He's quit driving around with black people in the woods in Oregon.
to be safe. And
He's like, blink
That's
twice.
a misdemeanor in White Salmon.
exactly. Do you feel safe? And when the cop walked back, I got
You're
the
like, my
lump in
name's
my
not
throat. I was
Melania.
so tired from producing the festival.
Yeah.
I got the lump in my throat, and I started crying.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Why are you crying?"
Right.
And I was like, "That was horrible." And he was like, "You didn't know. You didn't know." I was like, "I knew it happened." I was like, "I just never been here for it." And he was like, "Slow your blog. Nobody wants to hear about
Slow
it."
your blog.
It was so funny. Like it made me like, yeah. So it was terrible and hilarious.
funny.
It's one of those
Slow your
things.
blog, man.
Years and years and years ago, when they were doing Make Me Laugh, they had rebooted Make Me Laugh, the TV show on Comedy Central, and I was doing it. And you got to get your jokes past the standards and practices guy. It was my boy Ed Krasnick, and I gave him all my list of jokes, and he's like, "You got a lot of jokes about being pulled over." I was like, "Well, man, I've been pulled over a lot. I've been a road comic 15 years in small ass towns,
And I've been black the whole
the
time.
whole time, the whole time."
That's the kicker. That's the
And
kicker right there.
How long you been doing comedy? I mean, what year did you start?
1988.
Yeah, because shit was still real bad then.
Yeah, this was before the internet and cable, and so
Yeah.
hip hop wasn't that. Hip hop was still dangerous and scary. And
Or
young dudes with
GPS.
dreadlocks were, yeah. Oh yeah, no. David Tribble used to mail you. You would get in the mail a packet with all the list of everything and all the directions how you get there from this spot and how you had to. This is in the days of calling cards and payphones and things. It was wild.
I would have been the most. I could have been George Carlin, and I would have failed miserably because I am so bad with maps. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, you hear
that's so
these. Well, you guys had to learn how to do it.
It's so funny because now a lot of times when I play small towns or places that I've been before, I don't even need a map. We just like roll out and like, it's over here. I know
I'm
Highway
finally
5 almost
getting
by
there.
heart.
Yeah, I'm finally starting to notice stuff on the highway where you're like, oh, okay, like I know where I am now. But a lot of times you're like, oh, we've been here before.
We got lost 3 times on the way here, man.
We
How many
did.
times have you been here?
A few.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I understand.
So
Did
moving
you really
on.
get lost on the way over here?
Lost is
That's
maybe it's exaggeration.
it's subjective.
We were confused.
Okay.
Let's talk about. I have a funny. Since you're poking fun, I got to poke fun. And Ngaio and I went and did the Wild Horse Casino in Pendleton.
Oh, that's right.
And Ngaio was driving, and I'm in the back seat. You brought a friend with you that time. I don't remember
These things happen.
her name. And we are in the car at the gas station, and we go to pull off, and I look over, and we have the pump. It's with us. It's no longer attached.
Oh yeah, the thing
He had just driven off with
that happens.
the pump and
they
come
design
off
them now to pop off, so
They
you
pop
don't
off.
just pull off the whole
Yeah,
thing.
and I was
Oh.
like, stop.
Just
And I
the
was like,
handle.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's the handle and the hose.
in
It's
the
like
hose.
a good 4 feet of hose.
Yeah.
Oh.
I repressed this memory, so thank you for bringing that up.
No, I love it. It's one of my favorite.
I love it.
Because you were just like, no big deal.
is
Like you got out, you took it out, you put it back in the thing, and we left. It was so smooth. Like nobody even looked over. I was like, you just drove off with the hose and you just got out. I would have been like, holy shit. Nope. And I just got out, picked it up, closed the tank.
What's the first rule is don't panic.
Yep. Nope. You have that down.
That's always the first
It was one of the
rule.
most impressive things I'd
Savoir-faire.
ever seen.
I've noticed that chevrons now, the way that they attach, you can't leave it unattended. Like they've Jimmy rigged it.
Oh, so you can't do the
You
click
can't-
thing. You can't put the click. They don't have the click holder thing or
Right.
whatever.
Well, they have it, but like they have these big, huge, like plastic
Why are you? Oh, you're in Washington. I forget.
hoses
Yeah.
on the nozzle, so you can't shove it in. You have to like push it in, and it like actually takes.
You
One more
need
time.
foreplay.
Yeah. So now
Patience and saliva.
So I don't like
Two
to.
comics. You're like saying
Yeah.
shove it in too much. We're both like, nope, can't do
Nope.
it.
But I'm gonna. I
But
have
now,
to say
so
it.
now I boycott chevrons because I need.
Not because of their ridiculous
No.
pollutive.
Don't care about that.
policies.
I want to be able to go get my Red Bull while my car's filling up, and
Fair
I can't
enough.
do that now. Now it takes me an extra 5 minutes, and I am upset.
Time is money. You got 4 kids. That's
I'm
5
upset.
minutes you
I
can be
can't-
sleeping.
I need that 5 minutes, man.
America.
I'm glad you appreciate that.
I
Thank
do
you.
appreciate it. This is
Thank
America.
you.
Well, and
Don't catch
Ngaio's
them
the
slipping
dad.
up.
He's got a couple of them.
I have 2 young adults.
Young adults now.
2 young
And how old?
adults.
19 and
19
how old?
and 17.
19
Wow.
and 17.
Yeah,
Do you like them?
I love them.
Do you like
No, I know you love them.
No. My kids are hella cool.
Yeah,
My kids are
you guys all love
hella
them.
cool. My daughter's in college. She's in Amsterdam right now, majoring in badassery
That's awesome.
with a minor in being awesome.
That's-
And my son is an excellent juggler and magician and student body president. So put that in
Wow.
your pipe as well. Bragging on my kids.
That's awesome.
They're
though.
awesome.
And where do you call home?
I call Sacramento home. They live in San Francisco. Well, except for the one who lives in Amsterdam.
Which are how far is that?
Hour and a half, 2 hours now with the
Yeah,
bad
it's
traffic.
like from here to Bend.
Yeah, it's easy.
I went to dental school in San Francisco,
Did you?
University of Pacific.
Oh, there you go. That's
Yeah.
in Stockton.
That's where the undergrad campus is. They have a law school in Sacramento, and then they have a dental school in San Francisco.
Oh, well, there you go. Then.
And it's right. Well, they
I had
moved.
no idea.
It was in Pacific Heights, like a Pacific Heights area of
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Right,
And
you can't make all the dentists live in Stockton.
Right.
They have to.
Right. We
Even
did
prospective
We did
dentists.
one like orientation trip to Stockton,
Yeah, go Tigers.
and it was their campus is super nice. It looks like Ivy
It's still
League.
in Stockton.
It's still in Stockton. That's true. That's
What's
true.
so is Stockton just ghetto or
Ghetto
can I
is
say
a
that?
strong
It
word.
is- I know. I thought about it after I said
Underserved.
it. Underserved.
Underserved.
Okay,
It
like
has challenges.
like
Think kind of Roseburgian.
oh, so it's like a truck stop.
It's got yeah. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
Stockton. Stockton's just
People,
Stockton.
people are hustling.
I know.
They
so,
got a nice young black mayor though. He's doing a lot of things. He's
Okay.
they're even actually instituting a small what's it called? Universal Basic Income project out there.
That's really
and I'm
cool.
a fan of the UBI. I think it could solve a lot of
I
problems.
don't understand universal basic income.
Most of the
What does
problems
that
caused
mean?
by poverty are caused because you don't have any money.
You're
right?
poor
I
'cause you're
understand-
poor.
I
You're poor
understand
because
that.
you're poor.
I
So
understand that.
instead of like welfare to work or this and that, listen, man, here's $1,000. Here's $500 a month. Do what you need to do.
For any job. So
You don't
like-
even have to have a job. It's
Oh.
$500 a month. It's universal basic income.
Oh.
Oh, okay, just
Right?
like universal health care.
Yeah, listen, we could stand to give everybody $15,000. It's like if you lived in Alaska and you get your oil check
Yeah.
every
Okay.
year. That's universal, but that's a
Sure.
small scale, but it's universal basic income,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
You could alleviate a lot of. I mean, there's challenges, of course, because people are greedy and venal. So once you start giving people money, like say every man, jack, woman in America gets $10,000 a year.
Mhm.
You know there's going to be landlords or people who are going to try to pry you from that $10,000 right away. So all of a sudden your rent was $500 a month, and now it's $1,000 a month. Hey, listen, man, you're making extra money. Blah blah blah. The costs haven't gone up. It's just these are the challenges because cats want to act like everybody has pure motives. I'm always surprised. I remember, and I'm a rambler, so you let me know.
No, you're fine. Keep going.
If I keep talking. Was it Alan Greenspan after the recession in 2008?
Mhm.
He was like, well, we perhaps didn't take human greed into account. Like he just figured that all these captains of industries were
But those
out
are people
here
that have never
working.
been poor and then not been poor.
Well,
Like,
but they're also not poor because they're greedy asses. Greed is the only god that can't be appeased,
yeah,
right? Lust can be sated.
greed and jealousy, which go hand in hand.
Jealousy can't be appeased either, but greed. And so, and people see money. They just see money. They see a pile of money, and they don't think, how can this money do the most good? They think, how can I get my hands on it?
We got to interrupt. You have to move your car.
Oh,
You blocked-
okay.
You blocked both parking spots.
Oh, that's so funny.
So,
Impressive.
We were talking about. Oh, I know. You were bringing up the universal basic health care. We were talking about this at work the other day about how I met Bob Saget, and he's worth $100 million,
yeah.
and he was so concerned about Sunday selling out at the club. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this, whatever. And I just thought it was so funny that
I'm
he
sure
was,
he's listening to the podcast. Right
yeah,
now.
or
He's a
helium,
regular.
whatever.
He's a
Shane will be
regular.
like, I don't care.
Someone nominated him for the dental giveaway.
He had all these weird small cares, and he's worth $100 million. I read an article that said somebody that goes from 0 to 50,000, like they go from being homeless to getting a job where they make $50,000 a year, that their happiness goes up 85%.
Yeah.
Somebody that goes from 50,000 to $1 million or even 2 million, their happiness only goes up by like 3%.
Well,
So
you have more worries because now you're worried about holding on to that money.
yeah, that's the whole thing. Is
Yeah.
like, does your quality of life from 2 million to 100 million? I mean, you can only buy so much stuff.
Well, let's try it. Give me $100 million.
Yeah, I'll
We're
try
gonna do
it.
a
Let's
social
see how happy I am.
Social experiment is
But
in
I
the
don't
works.
need that much, is I guess what I'm saying. Like, You could live good now. $1 million really isn't that much anymore. So you could live good on somebody give you 15 million. I mean, you could probably live extravagantly.
Hmm.
And your kids would probably live.
You could probably leave a little, as long as you weren't like
You're smart.
buying jets and stuff. Like, I mean, because 15,000 really, I mean, 15 million isn't even, when you really break it down, buy $1 million jet.
Why would
buy
you
a
buy
$2
$1
million
million
You're not
jet?
buying $1 million jet.
But people are doing, people do weird stuff.
You're buying a timeshare portion of a jet for $1 million. You're not going to buy a
You
jet.
just have
Yeah.
a jet on call.
See? I
Jet
don't even-
money. Jet money is a different.
See, I don't even have a,
Jet money. That was my
stratosphere.
nickname in college.
see, I don't
Was
even,
it?
No, it should have been.
that's awesome.
That's a,
Jet
that's
money.
a
I would
whole
take your
nother,
money in jet.
stratosphere of,
Jet
of
money.
income.
Give me money for weed, and I would jet.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, that was another thing. Like, you don't know how to be rich. Like, if you want to buy an island, is there a comic that does a bit on that?
I don't know.
Like, I don't even know how to be rich. Even if I wanted to buy it, where do you go? You're like, hey, I have $200 million. I want to buy an island. Who do you call
you
for
fucking
that?
just show up at an
Yeah.
island and be like, "This one's mine."
Put a flag in it, and then you just
Well,
own
have
it.
you got a flag?
You got a flag.
Made of money.
We brought blankets. No, I think that's really just interesting. Like, people don't know how to. We looked up what to do if you win the lottery. It was slow that day at work. I don't know if I've talked
What's
about
the answer? Cocaine. No, I'm kidding.
Right?
Lots,
No,
lots.
it says to get a safety if you win like the big one, megabucks or whatever.
Yeah.
Get a safety deposit box
Yeah.
first. Go lock it up. Call a therapist first, and then a lawyer.
Not the accountant and the lawyer?
Nope, they say call a therapist first.
First of all, always take the lump sum.
Always
not
take the lump sum.
Not the
Always
month,
take the lump sum.
not the monthly payout.
Always take the lump sum.
lump
Yeah,
sum.
because of the taxes.
Glad we agree on that.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
I
Not just
agree.
the
important to
taxes,
me.
the compound interest as well.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
the lump sum versus isn't the payout where you get like $1 million a year for the rest of your life or something?
Yeah. So
It's
it'd be
usually
like,
broken down in a monthly payment. I
so
think.
say you win $200 million, it's broken down over like 25 years. So you get like, I can't do math in my head, like
Yeah.
$10 million a year for the next 25 years. But just take the $150 million.
Cash out your
that they're offering.
401k, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take the $167 million.
You get because, like you said, like 200 million versus like 80 million, isn't that much of a difference?
Well, remember the
Right.
story about those 4 waitresses? They would
No.
they all worked at the same place for like 5 or 10 years. They all go in every week on their megabucks tickets, and then one time they won, and the waitress that always go by him every year or every week said that it was her ticket that she bought for herself, and she ended up winning like $100 million.
Mm-mm.
Not a dime.
Not
She didn't
sharing
share,
with those other girls.
She didn't share a dime.
Did they beat her ass?
They took her to court, and then she's still alive. I don't know. I could have.
No, the court. Did they beat her ass?
No,
They're
there's-
right? That's
There's a
like-
different court you go to for
See,
that.
No, sometimes you just have to fight somebody.
Right?
Right.
That's
I'm
when
not
you-
from going to court.
that's
I
when
don't-
you end up-
no one ever. My lawyers will call you in the morning. My homies will see you in a minute. Like we're not going to court, dog.
This
We
was
selling out of court right now.
This was my ticket I bought for
Amen.
me. Like, no.
This is this ass whooping I got for you too. Like you can have both of
That's
them.
so cold. That's so
$400 million.
terrible.
And they still have to go to work every day and know their friends.
I'd at least
they didn't
like,
win in court
pay
either.
their houses
No,
off or
'cause
something.
She signed it or whatever.
There was no agreement.
Yeah.
There was no agreement.
Nope.
I fantasize about winning the lottery, and I don't even play, but about going to
I
work
don't
and,
even play.
and go. I know that's the
You're
sad
buying
part.
hope. That's how they get you. It's
Yeah.
'cause the
Just
odds are not
fantasize
in
about
your
it.
favor.
Some mornings when I'm tired, you got to go to work, and you're like,
You know, like a year and a half ago, the mega jackpot got to like
Yep.
900 million,
"Yep,
Yeah.
and I played
I did
because I
too.
was like, well, hell, I was
Yeah.
I want, but it's always at like 200 million, and I never play. But for some reason, I was
Semi-professional
Oh, that money.
lottery players
Mm-hmm.
will tell you that you should actually play the smaller ones because the odds are better because there's fewer people playing.
yeah."
Right? Once it's up to 500 million,
Then
Everyone-
everybody's
it
playing.
goes from 1 in 10 million.
Everyone's
to
like,
1
yeah,
in
I'll throw 10
100
bucks at
million or
that.
whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
I put-
exactly.
I put 50 on
People
that one.
people mortgage their house. I probably put 25 to 50 on one of them one time when it was super big like that. I play scratchers a lot because I have adrenaline problems.
a comic
Does that-
with issues?
does that
No
help with
way.
No,
Does
not
it
at
make it-
all.
I was thinking maybe
It's
that
a
compounds
right,
that problem.
Right to the dopamine receptors.
Yeah.
Ooh, the tension. Ooh, maybe this is the time.
Yep. No.
But you know, I've won $5,000 once.
Did you really?
Yeah. I've hit it for $500 a couple times too.
That's exciting. I've never. I won.
But I mean, I've probably spent
That's really cool.
$5,000
Oh,
over the past 20
Cumulatively, you're at a
years.
break-even point now.
I should have quit right after that $5,000.
after our show one night, we were all standing around talking. I saw this lady putting 20 in this machine. And you could tell she's like one of those ladies. She's spending rent money. Like she's mad because she's not winning.
Right.
And she
She's
walked
chasing
off.
at that point.
Well, she walked off, and I had a bartender friend tell me one time, when you see somebody putting 20s in and 50s, if they walk off, put a low denomination in and bet all of it, and sometimes you'll win. And I did. I won, I was like $147 off a dollar bill, though.
Ooh.
And that lady was irate.
She was hot to death.
She was so
Hot to
pissed.
death. Did you give her $20?
Huh? Yeah, I did. I bought her a drink, and I gave her, I think it was like the whatever, like the 17 and whatever.
That's a
That's
strategy of those career casino gamblers,
Yeah.
though. That's the strategy is they watch who's losing, and then they'll go play their machine when they're on a losing streak.
Yep.
And change it around.
Do you gamble at the casinos when you do comedy at the casinos?
More than I used to.
More than you used to.
I mean, I
It's
used to
going
not gamble at all,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I like it.
I would play like maybe some 21 every once in a while, some Let It Ride, but then all of a sudden these new slot machines, man, they get you right in your dopamine receptors. And
100%.
And I sit there spending my money like, I wonder how many teams of psychiatrists and psychologists and behavioral scientists they have
develop this.
thing because
yeah.
It's
I'm
a
just-
chair. The
I'm
chair
just
vibrates.
hooked.
I look at those things, and I
Right.
don't even know how you play. Like
Some
I'm
of
so
them are
lucky.
very entertaining though. Like
Oh,
for,
I'm sure
for
they
entertainment
look
value.
amazing.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
so much going on. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
gonna have like an epileptic seizure looking at
Some
the
of them are
screen
too powerful for sure.
because
like
there's
that,
so much
yeah.
going on. I'm just like, I don't know how to play that. I just walk along.
This is how you play it. You put your money in it and you press the button
Yeah.
and you hope some shit
Yeah.
happens.
I like roulette.
Wow,
I
Wow,
like
talk
the
about
wheel.
games of chance. Like,
Oh, but I love it. I love it.
Really, it's my least. I like
I love it.
craps. I learned how to play craps finally.
I don't know how to play that, but
I like-
it looks amazing.
I like
Because you can
hold'em
win
poker.
off the people. I like poker too, but you win
Yeah.
off the people that, if the people in front of you win, you win.
Right.
So it's this
Oh.
game of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Like
Community.
you're really hoping.
If some
that's supposed
dude
to be-
gets hot, then everybody's eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's supposed to be where your best odds are.
It's
If you know how to
super
play it,
fun.
you can have good odds.
In
And
a
there's guys
casino.
who practice the throw too. Like there's
Yeah.
a technique
Yeah.
you can have now. They work on dead throws and getting it just right and all this kind of stuff.
Wow,
Yeah.
that gets into some serious science.
It's
I like that.
craft.
That was
it's
my favorite
technique,
part
it's
of Rain
physics.
Man. You brought up Rain Man in the car when he went and counted
Count
cards.
6
It was
decks.
so fascinating to me
decks.
as a kid.
Mhm.
Do you remember Rain Man?
This movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I
Of course I
love
do.
that part.
I'm an excellent driver.
I'm an excellent driver.
There's one with Kevin
Charlie.
Spacey about counting cards.
Yes, that was the
I forget
one
what
with
that one was
that was
called.
based on a bunch of kids out of I think it was
He was-
Stanford or
he was their
some Ivy
mentor.
League school, and they
Oh,
had
I do
figured out
remember
how to count cards and how to work the odds, and they had all these hand signals and all this crazy shit. And
Yeah.
they went and took some casinos for a lot of money.
Yeah, I
I
remember that one. And there's
But of
always
course,
the love story
I
underneath all of
believe
it.
in the movie, most of the protagonists were white, and in the real life, most of these were like young, nerdy Asian kids.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
really?
They absolutely were.
Listen,
I
they-
see that. I see that.
When Hollywood first tried to buy Crazy Rich Asians, the movie Crazy Rich Asians, they
Mhm.
were like, "Hey, maybe we can do this with all white people." Hey man, the book is fucking called Crazy, Rich Asians.
Yeah.
It doesn't, the whole culture, the whole thing is thrown off if it's just crazy rich white people. We know how crazy rich white people act.
That book's
true.
already been written.
True.
That,
No one
that one's
needs
already
that
been.
movie.
Yeah, yeah.
That one's been written.
That's called Pretty Woman.
I was really surprised when
Yeah, that's right.
when I was looking at your bio.
My bio?
Well, yeah, I was
Okay.
doing some because I was sending it over to Lyle to put on their Facebook page. And I learned. I mean, I've known you for quite a while now,
Yes.
probably 5 or 6 years. We've worked together
At
a lot.
least.
How did I not know that you were in a pretty popular, is it 90s movie? Was it made in the 90s? And you're all baby-faced and young-looking. You don't
Oh
remember.
my God, 9 months.
Yeah.
With Jeff Goldblum and
Yeah.
Julianne Moore. Rar. And,
Yeah.
whew, she's excellent. She's a good
My
actress.
brother has a, it's weird
She's
that I know
just
that,
a
but
good actress, though, too. Like, I'm not just, I mean, yes, she's crazy
a
hot.
beautiful redhead, yeah.
And she's beautiful redhead. But, like, in terms of, I'm in love with her because of her acting skills. That's my crush. She's like,
That's
I've
amazing.
seen her in bad movies, but I've never seen her be bad in a movie.
Okay.
Like, she's a good
What year was
actress.
that?
19.
Yeah, because I looked at the picture. I had to find it, so I went down the rabbit hole. And you are baby faced in it. I was like, look at
That was one of the easiest auditions I ever had in my life.
really.
We sat in a room. Chris Columbus walked in. He looked at everybody. Okay. All right, thank you. And then 2 hours later, hey, you got the part. Hey, great. Sean's friend
You
number
didn't
1.
even have to
I still
talk.
get a check. I get a check for like $30 every 6 months from a movie we shot 20-something years ago.
No way. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, must have been on an airplane somewhere.
I
We're
need to
back
watch.
on
I haven't
HBO.
seen it. I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Yeah, I don't have any lines. You just see
Whose
my
job
face.
is it
Yeah.
to keep track of royalties? That must be so
The
My
union,
friend-
SAG-AFTRA.
tedious.
My friend
though.
threw away her royalty checks. Christine, For like 6 months because she thought they were just.
No, you get money.
Well, it was because she was doing so much work on Portlandia.
Oh, right.
She just didn't. She thought it was just junk mail,
Oh,
and she was just throwing them away for like 6 months.
Oh no!
And then finally, she was like, "What are these that keep coming?" And she opened them up, and they were royalty
Thousands of
checks.
dollars.
Yeah.
The first year after that movie came out, like I had moved, and so they didn't have my address right, and then they figured out where I lived, and they sent me a check, and I was like, oh, snap! Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning. I needed this too. So.
Isn't that
That's
funny
what it
how
was.
when it's good doing comedy, and then when sometimes you're like, this is nice surprise money. Like,
You know.
you're like, oh, fine, you find surprise money. You're like, you'll be between gigs, and then somebody will be like, hey, do you want $500 to do this? And you're like, yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
It's
Yes, I
amazing
do.
for my thoughts.
I was gonna take 75, but 500 is great.
500 is great. Yeah, I've done free drinks and food. You're going
Listen,
to Barcelona, though.
I'm going to Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yo voy a Barcelona el próximo año.
Have you been there? You've been all over the world.
Sí, claro que sí. But it was like 20-something years ago. So I haven't been to Barcelona in a while. I've been to Berlin a few times because
But this is
we've
all
done 2 or
cannabis
3.
stuff, right?
This is the International Cannabis Business Conference, which is in Portland this week. It started as the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference in Ashland like 4 or 5 years ago. My boy Alex, who's the primary producer.
And are they people that just
has-
own dispensaries, or?
No, man. We had Henry Rollins as the keynote speaker
Oh, cool.
in Berlin last time. Cliff Robinson's going to be here in Portland. Jeff Merkley,
Okay.
your state senator or
Mhm.
whatnot, he's going to be here. So it's mostly business people. I mean, cats who do run dispensaries and whatnot, but a lot of times it's cats who, run apps and giant grow room things. And
Okay.
people who were,
It's big
bigger.
marijuana.
It's bigger marijuana.
Big
Yeah,
marijuana.
it's not quite big weed yet, but it's getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our
It's a growing industry.
Nice.
See what I
I
did
smell
there?
what you did there.
I did.
You smell
You
it?
should be a professional comedian.
Oh.
Our
I don't go
One
around
step- one
sticking my
step at a
fingers into
time.
people's mouths. You
One
don't
step
tell
at a
jokes.
I got euphemisms all day.
You know what was funny about that?
I got dental dams.
I
But we
mentioned
probably use
I
them for
know
different
what you
things.
use them for.
Finger puppets.
Right. Of course.
I make little ghosts.
Good
Yeah.
Lord. I mentioned this on one of the other podcasts, so I'm sorry for repeating myself, but it's weird when you become friends with somebody and then you got to go in and they do a dental work on you. And he's not like this like dentist anymore. He's just my friend Brady
Yeah,
that's
he's
like,
Brady.
by the way, I'm going to go ahead and just stab you in the mouth. You're like,
It changes the dynamic of the
It
friendship
does.
slightly.
I mean,
Power
I'll still let him
exchange.
do
Yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah, you still let them do stuff in your mouth. but-
yeah.
That's right.
Well, I
just
mean,
different.
yeah.
That's right.
So
I got a-
moving forward.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Do you
$5.
have do you have a routine with your diet? Are you doing like morning, lunch? Are you like all over the place, or do you follow?
I'm a grazer.
Do you follow a routine that you stick to?
I'm
But
a
you're a
grazer.
foodie.
I love to eat.
Yeah.
I just moved to the burbs. I moved in with my mom. Me and my mom bought a house, and it's like 5. I used to live in Midtown Sacramento, so you just walk everywhere, right? I live around the corner from everything, so you just get up and you run your errands and you walk miles and miles and miles.
Cool.
And now I live in South Natomas, which is very cool. We got a great backyard, and my mom is awesome. But I don't walk as much as I used to, and she keeps bread in the house. Like she loves bread, so it's not just like, would
That's
you
my
like some bread?
biggest
It's like, what kind of
problem.
bread would you like?
Or you got options?
Well, you could have a bagel. You could have some French bread. You
Okay.
could have a wheat bread. You could have a nice white bread. You could have some
And then
English
all
muffins
the stuff to put in it.
and all the peanut butter
It's
and
too
all
many
the stuff.
choices. It's too much breads.
And so
love
now I just sit in
breads.
the suburbs and eat bread. So I've put on 20 pounds. So I got to start walking again.
Yeah.
Do you
Gotta
feel
buy
like
a
you put on
bicycle.
weight more now that you're older? Easier?
No, I had just taken off a bunch of weight. So when I was like
You're so, I've never seen
40
you look
something, I
fat.
gotten up to 250 something pounds.
But you're like 6'4"?
6'3".
6'3"?
Yeah. So us
That's a big
tall
frame.
guys,
So
us tall guys
I
hide
dropped
it
like
well.
25 pounds. So I was like, my high school weight 6'3", 225. I try
yeah.
to maintain that. So I was down to that again just last year. But that's what happened, right? So last year, went and got a checkup and did all the and I hadn't had a checkup in years. So
I need to do that.
I've been eating oatmeal and walking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I got my checkup, and they're like, "Man, you're in great shape for 50, dude. Your blood levels are good. Your cholesterol's great. Your shit's great." And I was like, "Hell yeah, man! Bring on the pancakes."
Right?
So I just been eating pancakes and sitting at home, and so then all of a sudden, these pants don't fit, and so now I got to start walking around again and eating oatmeal more. Here's
have
the secret to eating good oatmeal: put a lot of butter in it.
It's so
That
good.
is
Well,
delicious. And brown sugar.
A little bit of brown sugar, mostly
I
the
put
butter.
frozen fruit in it. That's my
Can't
thing.
go wrong.
Is
That's
when
good
I'm
stuff.
eating
Frozen fruit in warm oatmeal.
No, like I take the frozen fruit out the night before, and I put it in like Tupperware and let it thaw out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I just throw it
Well,
in
you
there,
do.
and that's
okay.
when I'm eating good.
Plenty of sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, natural sugar. I don't
Yeah,
put anything
that's what I'm
added.
I'm
It
laying
is
off
a
the corn
struggle.
syrup, but I'm still on the white sugar.
And
Although not
oatmeal
as
is what you
much.
go to when you're thinking healthy. When you're health
For
conscious.
breakfast. Because
That's
like,
your
like I
healthy
said, I'm a
breakfast.
grazer, so I generally like to get up and have a decent breakfast. So I can have a good sized breakfast,
Yeah.
and then I just kind of snack the rest of the day. I get a
Snack.
little lunch, a light dinner, but really I just graze. Like here's a bag of peanuts, or here's
Yeah.
a small sandwich, or here's
But
a
you
taco.
said something when you got to my house today. You said where was the first place you went when you got to Portland? You went and ate somewhere.
Today.
Yeah, you said I went.
Oh, where did I go?
It sounded like that was somewhere you liked though, because you were like, I went there and ate a burger and fries.
Oh, I went to Thatcher's for a burger
Thatcher's,
and
yeah.
fries, but only because the line at Bipartisan Cafe was hella long and I was really hungry.
But those are
So-
both places you know that you like.
Yeah.
So that leads.
Well,
to
I'd never been to Thatcher's before. But I mean, when I'm in Portland, Pine State Biscuits gets a lot of my money.
Yes.
Yep.
Those guys see me a lot.
Yes.
Um,
I agree with that.
What's that place? On the Peruvian tapas place.
Oh, yeah.
Andina.
Andina,
Okay.
yeah.
Andina.
Yep.
Yeah, if
It's
I can,
very good, too.
If I can afford to
We-
go
I-
there, I show up there every once in a while.
Yeah.
I thought about having them as one of our food
Oh,
things.
we need to call Pine
And,
Street Biscuits.
Bipartisan
Get
Pie
them
also has
on
great
this
pie.
thing.
I go there all the time.
Yeah, that's
Pine
a good.
State Biscuits.
Speaking of pie,
see-
I
they
just
see a
bought
lot
a
of them.
Sherry's pie yesterday.
Can't go wrong with a Sherry's pie.
Oh my
No.
gosh, they had a sign. There's a Sherry's pie in the parking lot of my office, so I drive
Nice.
by it, and they
Oh,
have these
that's
window ads, and it was
Yeah.
blueberry sour cream lemon.
Oh.
sold.
Yeah,
I haven't
Did
bought a
Did you get the
Sherry's
whole pie, or did you get a
Oh, I
slice?
got the whole pie.
See, you got to harm
That's what I'm
reduction.
looking forward
Just get a
to
slice. Just get a slice.
When you losers go home, is I'm gonna.
we're gonna
Shove my
we're gonna
face.
shank you for your pie.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, I shouldn't have told anybody.
Gonna knock on the door.
But my pie's like I do this, and then I like that item is like an hourglass, right? When you play an hour, like an hourglass of like time. Like when my pie is done, then I'm gonna start eating right.
Oh, I
So here's
I-
the thing: how long is
I
that
got-
pie gonna last, though?
Well, like a day or two, 3 days max.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll do
I
a
admire
slice,
your willpower.
a slice a day,
Yeah,
like maybe
me
a
too.
slice in the afternoon and then slice at night.
That'd be a 24-hour
and then a
pie for
sensible
me.
dinner.
Yeah, well,
Like I'd
it
start
gets
like at
dangerous.
noon and maybe till the
24-hour
next
pie.
day.
But that's the way I justify it in my head when I'm going to do something like
Yeah.
that. I say, okay, well, when it's gone,
Right.
That's my-
It's
this
like
is my time
It's
to-
like Mardi Gras. It's like
Yeah.
your Fat Tuesday, and then Lent starts.
you let the monster out,
Yeah.
and then you contain it again,
There
and
you go.
then you wait for the right time to let it out again.
My monster's
Well, welcome
loud.
to Health Tips.
Yeah.
So are you still do a lot of road work? Where
Not
do-
as much as I used to. I got to do more.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you travel around, are there places that you like to go, not because you enjoy the club or where you're going to do shows, but there's somewhere there you like to eat?
Oh, that's funny. Most places I enjoy the club too, though. I can't
Yeah.
really think of a. Although I was just in Corpus Christi.
Mhm.
I did not enjoy that town,
Uh-huh.
and it's hard for me to say that I don't like a town. I just didn't. The vibe was weird. It was
Felt real
odd. It felt
Texas-y
weird.
as South?
No. South Texas kind of gets a bad rap. Like, I've kicked it in McAllen and El Paso and a lot of these weird South Texas towns where you think it would be
Yeah.
funky. I've always gotten along with everybody. I've never really had any problems. Not like I was in northern Idaho or
Oof,
or
yeah,
parts of
oof.
Fresno,
Yeah.
right? But Corpus Christi just had a weird vibe. But the food was pretty good. So,
Okay.
I mean, the comedy club is above the pizza place. And they sell
Oh.
legalized marinara T-shirts. So I felt like I was right at home.
Legalized marinara.
Legalized
That's
marinara.
adorable.
Yeah.
I want a legalized marinara.
I know. I
shirt.
actually gave them money for a T-shirt because I need more T-shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't have
funny, I need less
800,000
T-shirts.
different. Yeah, dude.
I have a monthly subscription. I get T-shirts sent to me in the
That's
mail.
so funny. I used to subscribe to Dapper Black Box, which was
Yeah.
a subscription service that sends you like ties and socks
Yeah.
Mhm.
and clips and all that, but all from black-owned businesses.
Oh, that's awesome.
cool.
Mhm. Right?
I work for a minority-owned company. We just hit $2 billion last year too.
2 billion black people, or
Yes,
you just
all
hit
of
them?
them. They all- yeah, all-
every black person
gotta
just
be
walk
close to
around
all of them, I
smacking
think.
black people in the face.
And then they let
That's
me
great.
work there. They're like, you know what? We like her though. She's funny. We'll bring her in.
2 billion black people
No,
and Amanda.
we're not very many
I've seen that movie.
minority-owned companies. I think. Ooh.
What? What? It was a
I
comedy.
love
What
it.
you guys think I was talking about? What did you guys? You guys.
There's no way I'm gonna stop because it's not gonna get any better.
Yeah.
Did we have a? Is there a point to this?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna.
There's never a point.
There's never. we're gonna eat some stuff. You want to try
that's
some
the point.
food?
We're getting to that point.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Do you
So-
want to introduce our restaurant that we're featuring today?
I do, because I have a
Let's
little
do
bit of a backstory.
Okay.
Today we are gonna feature Garden Monsters. I worked with the guy that owns it, Kyle. It's Kyle Smash on Facebook, but I don't think that's really his real name.
They shortened it when they came over from
That's an
Canada.
awesome
Yeah.
last name.
Smashervitsky.
Smashvitsky with like a
The name's
backwards K and
Americanized
stuff,
it.
The name's Smash.
like those weird like
Kyle Smash.
weird backwards Ks. Sorry, Kyle, if you're listening to me. He'll check out the episode.
Yeah.
He's very excited about us talking. What's cool about Kyle and I is that we worked at Yahoo together, and we both kind of hated our job. I think we both liked the culture because they give you beer and stuff, and the people we worked with. But I don't think either of us loved it there. Sorry for speaking for you, Kyle, if you're listening. But he and I think, are the only two people that really left there. I think he got laid off the same time I did, maybe like the layoff after me.
All right.
And we both ended up doing something we love. He opened up one food cart, and it has been really, really popular. Garden Monsters are on 40th or 50th in Division and 41st in Sandy. They use all locally grown
In Portland.
Yes, in Portland, Oregon. Sorry for come to Portland
This
if
is
you.
where we are.
Yep. They use locally grown, all the healthy, good stuff, like nothing GMO.
Oh, cool. Very
and
cool.
They're big, huge, giant salads. Here, I'll let you guys hear me open it. Okay, so this one
What we got here?
is
That
that's
looks
the one I put the beef on.
Smells
I almost
good.
have to look. I bought them hours ago. I have to look at the menu. I know that one's called
This
the
is
Oregon.
Paul Bunyan. This is
Yes.
the Paul Bunyan with the potatoes and the steak.
Thank you, and Ngaio was with me when I bought them.
This is the Cobb one.
That's the
Or not
Cobb.
the Cobb. Is it the?
This one's got
we got
potatoes.
the
Oh, this one looks really good.
the
I'm
Oregon
excited.
Trail.
Oh, this is exciting.
That's the Oregon Trail.
This is
in
the
Ngaio's
Oregon
hand.
Trail.
It's
We
called
got
the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do I die of dysentery?
I was gonna say it.
Dang it. Beat 'em.
And then we got
could be a
Paul
comic, see?
Bunyan, and then I can't remember what the other one was.
Club. Or like
Club.
yeah, it's a club salad, I guess.
Perfect. Now, okay, so here's the kicker. We have unique ways. So what we're going to ask you to do is we're going to ask you to kind of describe how you like the food, but in very unique ways. So we have a little box full of little pieces of paper that will
Okay.
tell you how we would like for you to try to describe the food.
It's like a drinking game with food. No.
Yeah, so we want you to describe the food in special ways, and you'll tell how you're going to do it. So I
Okay.
want you to go ahead and grab one of these.
All right.
About 10 different options here. If you don't like what you grab, you can grab a different one.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, yeah, that's how we work it.
It says describe it like Halloween candy.
There you go.
Well, there's no corn.
And I have to describe mine like a car.
And
the
mine like a
easiest
sitcom.
Do we each get our own salad? Or are we mixing and matching? What are we doing?
We can mix and match, or just like here. I have plates.
Yes.
Didn't think this one out. That this one's a little bit more elaborate.
Is
but
it?
no, it's not.
There you go.
Boom.
This is the
Works.
non-chocolate.
So there are
salad.
there's two Garden Monster trucks. Is that right? There's two locations?
One's brick and mortar. Oh, I'm so sorry. There you go. One's brick and mortar, and one is a cute little cart on 50th and Division. Or no, I think they're. I should know this better. I think they're both carts, and he has a brick and mortar opening. He's been really successful though.
What's it called? Garden Monster?
Yeah, and he has
That
been.
is probably the least punny of the Portland food truck names. It's not like fried egg, I'm in love, or
Yeah. Egg cart or egg carton is the one by my old house.
Is there egg carton by your old house?
Yeah, egg carton. Keep them separated.
Describe it like a Halloween candy. Well,
May I please have one of
Like
those?
there's good Halloween candies and bad ones, right? And there's in-between ones, and Halloween candies that make you feel a certain way. So we want to channel all your descriptions through.
this makes me feel like stealing candy from little kids. When I'm a bigger kid.
Eating
No,
your
I'm kidding.
kids' candy.
No, I never ate my kids' candy.
I
little
keep that
bit.
one. I'm trying to keep them separated. Sorry, I made that joke already, and they heard it, but you didn't. So I thought I'd bring it up again.
Well, it's crunchy like a Nestle Crunch bar, but with lettuce. If
Can
that
you
makes
imagine
sense.
if you went and got a salad? Remember how sad you were when you got an apple?
Who was sad when they got an apple in their salad?
Oh, no, an apple when you were a kid trick-or-treating?
Oh. Yeah.
And my mom would always be like, there's razor blades in it.
No,
I'm
you
like,
can't eat those,
There's
no.
not. You never ate the apple.
No.
Or you got two.
Yeah, maybe you should
We lived
hand
by
out
a-
salads when people do kids trick or treat in your neighborhood, Brady?
Mhm.
Maybe hand out little salad bags, little pre-made salads. Happy Halloween, everybody! Here's some kale.
Yeah, that's a great way to not get kids to come to your house for Halloween.
We had a
That's
dentist
a great way to
that
find
lived by us.
smashed eggs on your window.
Mm-hmm.
We had a dentist that gave away many toothbrushes and toothpaste when I was a kid.
See, that's terrible, and I want you to know, I am anti that.
Yeah.
I think
Right, you want them to eat candy because you need the business.
right, exactly. First of all, that's exactly right. I go to Costco. I buy the big king size candy bars. So
Do you?
yeah,
We used to
we
come
give
to
the
your
goods.
neighborhood. when
I was
a
going to
kid.
say, we used to go to the fancy neighborhoods.
Mhm.
There's always a rumor one house was giving out Godiva chocolate or whatever.
Yeah.
Gotta find those guys.
There was a guy that would give out quarters. He was this old guy that would give out quarters when I was a kid.
Get out quarters.
Do you know that there's and we
just gave out eighths.
We didn't want any candy at all later. No, I lost what I was gonna say because you thought of weed and I thought of bad drugs. That was funny. Are you gonna go next? You gonna tell us what you think yours?
Yeah, what's this one? Ruh-roh. Is this the Oregon Trail?
That's the Cobb.
The Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Me too.
That chicken is so good.
It is really
That
good.
is really delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I was to describe it as a car, what's a delicious car? Like a
A Tesla.
like
A
a
Bugatti.
yeah,
A
something
Maybach?
really
Well, is it
sleek, like a
sleek? Is it
Jag,
heavy?
like a really fancy Jaguar. Like
So it's gonna
like
break down.
one of those kinds of Jaguars that like there's only like 200 of them ever made, and you got one. That's actually one of the best salads I've ever had.
Mhm.
That is so good. That chicken is really flavorful. And I'm a big meat person. I like meat in my like meat and everything.
Like meat in your car.
It is like seriously hanging out with 12-year-olds.
Big meat person.
But 12-year-olds actually don't make as many jokes. They haven't been around the block as long as you guys
What's
have.
funny is that
Also-
you chose to hang out with comics.
I know. It's my own fault.
I proclaimed at work one day that they were all talking about how much they love bacon, and I was like, I'm way more of a sausage girl. And like I work with all men. They all like just at one time turned into their cubicles and looked away from me.
No.
Nobody like said it because you're at work.
No one's trying to get written up by HR.
Exactly. So they all just turned away.
Mm-hmm.
The Paul Bunyan salad, which has roasted potatoes in it,
Mm-hmm.
is like a customized FJ Cruiser.
Rugged.
It's rugged. It's ready for everything, but it also looks attractive.
No, it's got a weird blind spot.
Sure. Yeah, we go with that. So that's my
The blind spot would be the potatoes because you're not ready for potatoes in a
You didn't
salad.
see him coming.
Yeah.
but the potatoes are a nice accent to the salad. Don't need too many salads that have
Makes it
roasted
hearty.
potatoes. Yeah,
Hearty. Yeah. This
Yeah.
would be a filling lunch because sometimes you have
definitely.
a salad for lunch and you're just like, bleh.
It's actually not
Definitely.
even steak. It's Blue Ox.
You should tell your friend to come build one in
Because it's a Paul Bunyan. Nobody.
I got it. No, I was.
Nobody.
You made me think of where is the blue ox that you can stand under?
Is it Minnesota?
No, there's one down by on your way to like the redwoods. There's a blue ox.
Is there?
Yeah, I have a picture of me standing by its back end. Okay, so I have to do a sitcom.
Ha 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 ha. I'm doing a laugh track.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I think that I'm gonna be punny. The Cobb is like the Big Bang Theory, because it's a big. No, you shut your mouth. I'm not saying because of the show, because of the name. It's kind of like a big bang in your mouth.
Okay.
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 It's like bam, like
oh, man,
here's
Ngaio's
like
struggling over there. I see him struggling. You
I'm
can't
just gonna eat
contain.
my salad.
That's what he's gonna do. Probably the best.
Sat there
Probably for
and
the
ate your
best.
salad.
Yeah.
but it's still smart. But it's kind of a basic concept.
Yeah.
So that was a great analogy. Our sound guy.
They're just trying to
Randall
make it look smart.
being
It's
a
not
jerk,
really that
being
smart,
like,
but they make it look
"Bleh."
smart. Here's the thing: Big Bang Theory is cool and it's funny,
Is it?
but it's not smart like Frasier was smart.
No, that's
Frasier was a way smarter show.
I
That's
never got
where I
into
was
Frasier.
going.
I probably should
I
get
love-
into Frasier.
I'm surprised how dry it is. I feel
Just
like
I would
show
probably
or
like
Frasier?
it.
Frasier.
Yeah. I like
How's the
Everybody Loves
salad?
Raymond. That's
How
pretty
dry
dry.
is the salad?
The salad is very moist. Sorry.
Oh, here we go.
The salad is good. Oh, no, that's your trigger. I was being serious.
Yeah.
But there we go. Here we
Okay.
are. So moving forward, I would say that the Paul Bunyan is kind of a sophisticated salad. A little bit. It's a grown-up salad.
It's very rustic, though.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
rustic. It's like
potatoes.
if you give that to a kid though, I don't know. Maybe they would like it because it is so
Kids
so
like
basic.
potatoes.
As an expert in all things kid, I'm telling you, my kids wouldn't eat that.
Wouldn't eat it. Yeah,
I mean, they touch it, but
they'd eat all the potatoes and the
What
steak
foods
out
don't
of
your
it.
kids eat? My
Yeah.
kids are damn near adults, and they still don't like peas.
Oh, really? All of my children are very different with
My
what they like,
daughter-
what they don't like.
Who was the biggest omnivore I had ever met in my life when she
Okay.
was little?
Mm-hmm.
She would eat everything
Mhm.
except for peas.
Mine's beets and Brussels sprouts, and you can tell me
Yeah.
that I
Still,
did recently. I don't like beets still, but Brussels sprouts I finally had just recently.
did you have them with bacon and maple syrup?
No, but I mean they're just pancakes at that point. I mean, of course I'd love them if they had bacon and maple
Come and get
syrup.
your breakfast sprouts.
Right? Like that just sounds amazing. Like I'd eat it probably at Converse with bacon and maple syrup. Anyway, I had them somewhere. I don't remember where we were, but they were really, really good. So yeah, I have Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
I have I'm gonna go Seinfeld. Maybe a little bit more sophisticated, but still a little quirky.
Okay.
Is this the Oregon Trail or the?
Yeah, the Oregon Trail, and then the Paul Bunyan.
You're not saying the Oregon Trail is not really more like Portlandia?
The Oregon Trail, is that the
or-
one with the beef or not? No, it's the Paul Bunyan.
The
It's
Paul
one with
Bunyan's the beef. The Oregon Trail is the one with the sunflower seeds in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's more like Dharma and Greg.
Fair enough.
Dharma and Greg.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, I loved that show.
That show was
Yeah.
underrated.
Yeah, when I was thin, at my thinnest, I got that I look like her a lot. It's just because she's blonde and she has
What's her?
squinty
Jenna
eyes.
Elfman?
Jenna Elfman.
Yeah,
Yeah, she has an amazing cameo in what's the one she's dressed like an angel and she's really a stripper.
Oh,
Was it Can't Hardly Wait?
go ahead, Randall.
Do you know it?
Oh, I thought you knew.
No, Sound Guy was going to come in and save the day, but turns out I ruined it.
I liked her in the movie with
I
Ben
think
Stiller and Ed Norton Jr. Right, one's a priest, one's a rabbi. They're best friends, and she's kind of the love triangle keeping the faith.
Yeah, is that the one where she's the? That's the one.
no.
No,
I think it's the one with Can't Hardly Wait. It's a high school movie. I think it has Jennifer Love Hewitt. And then she like goes away from the party and she's at like a gas station or a truck stop or something like that. And Jenna Elfman's sitting there in like a sexy angel uniform outfit. And then they like
Angel uniform.
they like pontificate upon life. And Jenna Elfman gives, I think it's Jennifer Love Hewitt. I think it's Can't Hardly Wait.
Did you guys ever watch Ghost Whisperer?
no.
I don't know why I would do that.
Because you like boobs.
Alright.
That's the only reason I'm bringing it up is Jennifer Love Hewitt would go to like funerals and stuff, and like these sexy, because she's I think she's beautiful. She's so
Sure.
curvy,
Sure.
like all hippie and booby.
I've liked her since Party of Five.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But she would go to like they'd be like, here's Jennifer Love Hewitt talking to ghosts at this funeral with her boobs to her chin, and nobody's like being like, who's the lady in the evening gown talking to the wall?
Well, that's how you get the ghost to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think
you
the ghosts like her?
Yeah, you lure them out. I get it with the boobs.
Dang, you see
I feel like I should have been haunted more.
Yeah.
All right, moving
This
on.
was good. I really liked. I wish I was closer to one. I would, but next time I'm in Port, I would definitely make my way.
I'm gonna make an appointment at your clinic probably next week. I'll bring you a garden monster salad.
Bring it.
Bring
Give
it.
me the. I want the. I think it was the Cobb that had the delicious. I wonder if the chickens are different because the chicken in the Cobb tasted different than the chicken.
Yes,
in
they
the
have
Paul Bunyan.
different dressings.
It's the dressing.
Yeah, they are.
Is that where the flavor's coming from?
Yes. Once poppy seed something, he picked
Yeah,
it.
I like that.
And then-
Spicy sesame ginger.
Yeah.
Mm,
So,
good. That hit the
garden
spot.
monsters, we're gonna take some when we roll this one out. We'll take some stickers out, put them on the truck, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
If
and
he'll
tell
let
them that
us.
we love them.
If he'll let us, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely highly recommend. And I'm sure they have more options. These are just 3, but they were all really good. But by far,
Super
my
good.
favorite was the Cobb.
And it was really quick too. And the kid was really nice. I liked him. I asked him, and Ngaio laughed at me. I was like, because they have multiple locations now. I was like, so you know Kyle, right? And he was like, yeah, I work for him. And I was like, I don't know. He owns the place now. I don't know how often he's stopping by. He's got that salad money. Yeah, he's got that. Those salad
That
dollars.
salad truck money.
Yeah. But yeah, great service, really quick, really good food, and it's all super healthy, naturally grown.
Is that where you got the glass bottle of Sprite too?
We got that from the taco truck that is also in the same pod.
That
It's
makes
the
sense.
Mexican Sprite.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You got to go to the taco truck to get that.
Yeah, and
The
it
Mexican
was
Sprite, the Mexican Coke. The Mexican Coke, man, the pure sugar.
Yeah,
Coca-Cola from Mexico
it's different.
has sugar instead of corn syrup, and it tastes so
now
much
it's
different.
popular here.
Mhm.
I didn't drink soda as a kid. It was just something we did.
Mm.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I like had Kool-Aid where you'd like seriously had a sludge at the bottom.
Right? You, can
You
feel your
remember drinking
pancreas
Cheerio
drowning.
sludge too? You'd make Cheerios and pour sugar on the top of your Cheerios, and then
Mhm.
drink that sugary, sludgy water or milk.
There's
not
an
water.
ice cream place in West Sacramento called Devil May Care. And they make a Captain Crunch ice cream.
Mm.
So, but it doesn't have any of the sharp bits in it, so it just tastes like Captain Crunch cereal milk,
Yeah.
and it's so good, and your mouth isn't all fucked up.
Well, there's that girl that got rich off making cereal milk ice cream. I think it was. She was like a pastry chef.
She got rich off of it.
Yeah, and now she has her
It
own
is
place. It's
delicious.
called Cereal Milk. And I think she opened. It's on one of the Netflix cooking shows I watched.
Really?
Yeah.
So Salt and
Speaking
Straw.
of Netflix cooking shows, I'm on Cooking on High.
That's where I was going.
12
Sorry, I
episodes,
didn't mean to
please,
interrupt
I'm
you,
sorry.
Mr. Brady.
No, I'm just blowing my own horn.
No.
There's so Salt and Straw, which is a staple ice cream place in
Yep.
in Portland.
One in
Yeah.
Seattle.
In March, there's seasonal flavors. They say they have monthly seasonal flavors, and in March, only in March, you can get. It's called Pots of Gold and Rainbow, which is a Lucky Charms ice cream, and it
they're
is
after me, Lucky Charms.
it is my favorite ice cream
That's the one.
in the universe. I don't think it gets better than that. It is so good, and I'll go
It
to
tastes like cereal milk.
yeah, it tastes like Lucky Charms
Mm.
cereal milk. It's so good. It's
I
so,
have to look this lady up. And got one of my favorite, and I'm going to butcher it, so don't judge me, Ngaio, but one of my favorite jokes of yours that you did when I first met you was, why does Ben and Jerry think I'm two people?
Four people.
4 people, that's your joke, right?
Yeah.
I knew I was going to butcher it, but I think about you every time I eat Ben and Jerry's.
When you read the side, talk about how much I love Ben and Jerry's.
yeah, yeah,
I used to eat a pint every day.
obviously.
And when you read the side of it, right, it's like servings per container, 4.
Oh, I thought it was 2.
Oh, it's 4. Like, oh, I'm 4 people. Because
my
nobody
God.
ever eats a fourth.
No.
Who eats a fourth of Ben? I
Yeah.
open the Ben and Jerry's, I throw the top away.
Yeah.
Right? It's not coming back.
You don't need it.
No.
You don't need it.
Adios, soldier.
I was astonished that I thought it was 2, because what I do is I let it sit out because I like soft
It
ice cream.
doesn't even get good, so you can flip that shit over halfway through. That's the lick, man.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest problems as a kid was ice cream.
Man, I might bring that joke back.
You should. It's one of my favorites.
Oh,
That's hilarious. That's funny.
So you are on a show called Cooking on High
yeah, I'm on a show called Cooking on High.
on Netflix. I didn't know. I didn't see you post anything. That's what you're a very humble, kind of quiet guy in some ways, and I really appreciate that about you. There was no like,
some ways.
I got a show coming out on Netflix.
I should
blah, blah,
probably
blah.
do more of that.
Maybe you might want to, because I came home from a show one night, sat down, turned on Netflix, and I was like, oh my God, it's Ngaio. And I took a picture of it and I texted him. I was like, you're on my TV. What's going on?
what has happened?
I got a show.
You didn't? Yeah. Tell me about it.
That's cool.
You're like, I still want to eat salad, Manda.
So it's like chopped with weed,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Like the show Chopped.
kind of like the show. It's not quite as intense.
But weed is a featured ingredient in,
Weed is the featured
in some
ingredient.
form.
It's all cannabis-infused butters and oils.
Cannabis
right?
infused butters and oils.
Yeah,
okay.
so they introduced the judges, then they introduced the chefs, then they introduced the theme.
yeah.
The theme is waking bacon, right? So we're going to make fancy
Mhm.
weed breakfasts or baked like a potato, so it's fancy weed potato dishes. And then they introduce me and I come out with the strain. Today's strain will be an Amnesia Haze, which is known for its citrus notes and its sativa-like high.
Okay.
It's energetic
Yeah.
and delicious. And then we sit down and people start cooking and then we talk about weed and flavors and all this
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah.
And interview them when they're like kind
And then
of bullshit with them.
and then everybody eats the food and they take a few minutes. They take a break to let it kick in, and then they do the judging. Sometimes people are low.
Least favorite food you've had on it, right? Wouldn't that be your question, Brady? Like,
Well, that's definitely a good question. My question is, how do you control as the chef how high you're going to get from the food that you're eating? Is that controllable, or is it just like, I don't know, let's just see what happens?
Food is a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, back in the day when we were making weed food and everything, it was just either strong or not strong, right? But now it's way more scientific.
Right.
This is 5 milligrams, or this has 20 milligrams of.
Like it seems like it'd be like an on and off switch, not a dimmer switch. And you want something that can gradually get where you want to go.
The thing about
You want to eat a cheeseburger and go to work, and that's not happening.
Don't eat weed food before you go to work.
Right.
We've all been caught by surprise. Shit like that for sure. We had a couch in the green room for people who needed to take a nap.
Take a 5.
Take a 30.
A long 5.
You need a 30.
Yeah.
You need a 30. You need a full nap and some coffee.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Busted.
sometimes it's hard to time when it's going to kick in because you don't always
Yeah.
know. Like when you smoke weed,
I don't smoke
it's
weed.
easy because
so
you can feel it pretty much right away. You take
Yeah.
2 hits and in 5 minutes you're like, oh yeah, all right, I'm pretty
So I don't smoke marijuana. I think in high school I might have smoked marijuana. I might have smoked oregano. I'm
never
not
know.
exactly sure.
Sure. High school in Utah.
So I am definitely among the uninitiated
Uninitiated.
in marijuana. But that's what I understand is that it's just getting more and more potent. And I run into marijuana a lot in my job because as a dentist, I'm actually really concerned with like how, as an alternative to narcotic pain medicine, people who can learn how to manage their pain with weed, it actually turns out really, really well. There's there's another side of that coin where it can be damaging as well to some extent. But for that aspect of pain management, I see it a lot, but I don't know a lot about weed, especially as it pertains to like cooking. But that's what I'd be worried about is what's going to happen when I eat this cheeseburger.
Not much. I mean, you're going to feel pretty happy and giggly and maybe sleepy. If you start to feel like you're having a small existential crisis, maybe have some more non-medicated food.
Okay. Non-medicated
food.
food.
Take a nap.
Just the normal foods.
Peppercorns. We talked about that.
Yep.
CBD. You can just get CBD. The thing about CBD is it actually counter affects some of the stronger effects of THC.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It keeps you from getting too
And
high.
CBD is the cannabinoid.
Cannabinoid
Cannabinoid is what it is.
Cannabidiol.
Cannabidiol. That's it. That's what it is.
We had lots of people when I was a vet tech that were giving their dogs with epilepsy CBD.
Yeah.
And it was, the doctors can't be like, oh, yeah, this works. There's no studies. But
anecdotal evidence.
The dogs weren't having seizures.
Yeah.
So
no, there's a lot to learn about it, and I'm excited because I subscribe to the Journal of the American Dental Association, which is like the premier like dental, and there's always articles on marijuana and dental relations. JADA, yeah.
JADA.
That's right.
JADA doobie doobie doo.
You know that? Okay, good.
Our sound guy is just
Randall's
devouring the
hungry.
salad.
So hungry, and he's just watching us eat. You like to watch us eat?
So good.
Like the cats that hang outside the back of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Throwing scraps.
Poor Randall.
Oh, enjoy.
So
Enjoy.
are they discussing marijuana a lot in the JADA?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's kind of more studies are needed.
Yeah, of course.
But certainly in the realm, the positive things I can say from my dental perspective is pain management. 100%. If someone gets something that's going to hurt and they can manage it with marijuana instead of Percocet,
always better.
100%. You got my vote.
Yeah.
And so I think it's way better because I think narcotic and opioid consumption is at epidemic levels.
I was just reading a thing. They had done a study on cannabis and pain, and they had determined, and it's still preliminary or whatnot, that it's not so much that marijuana diminishes the pain, say like morphine or heroin does, but it kind of gives you more pain tolerance, or so you don't worry about it as much.
Euphoria that marijuana is known for. That's going to definitely take your mind off it, or
it still kind of hurts, but it's not as important.
That's what they're saying.
Maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care as much that it hurts.
Yeah.
So
you're not gonna let it bother you.
It's more of a sedative than a pain.
It's more like a fuck it all.
Yeah. Like
they've done some studies though
They've
done some studies in rats that have shown this was in a recent episode.
How'd you like to be a rat dentist? That would be weird.
Yeah, but they did show some bone loss in prolonged and excessive use. So a lot of stuff is like they divide it into like excessive use of marijuana.
Define excessive use.
So I don't know that.
Because I used to think that I smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah.
Until I started hanging out with people who smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah, sure. And there's definitely a subjective nature to that. But there's been some bone loss exhibited in like lab animals and stuff like that. So
that's weird.
The main thing is most people who smoke large amounts of weed also have poor oral hygiene. And that's with any drug, like
it dries out your mouth so bad. And the cotton mouth is real.
Xerostomia,
you're waiting for bacteria to get involved.
So the dry mouth is serious. And then if you just fall asleep on your bed watching TV, that's a problem.
I'm
Also,
the worst nighttime flosser.
if it gives you the munchies, you want to eat what we call cariogenic foods, which are just foods that like create like carbohydrates, chips, sugars, Mountain Dew, bread.
I try to have healthy snacks in the house for the munchies, actually.
Yeah.
But
good.
Older.
That's
I'm
really
older
good.
now. I'm smarter now.
But so it's not like it's the marijuana itself. It's the behaviors of people who smoke a lot of marijuana. And that's where the problems usually
That's a good point.
And then you can go down a kind of a rabbit hole with that are those people that are self-medicating that much. Is there some sort of socioeconomic reason that they're eating really bad food and getting really, really high?
Yeah.
It's just because they're, you could travel. You could.
Cheap.
Well, yeah, but listen, man, America designs food to hit you right in your receptors.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
That's true.
It is
all
the
how
worst
much
drug
sugar
of all
and
the
fat
drugs.
and salt they can give you to make you feel
That's it.
better about
Right
yourself.
there. Yeah.
Right. There's a. I just look at this spot in New York. They sell like a fondue burger. Right, and they pretty much just take a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And they cut a hole kind of in it, and they just dump.
I'm
fondue.
interested in that.
Yeah, it's just like a bun and a nice hunk of meat and just crazy amounts of fondue. Yeah, and it's so good, but it's like they're like, we sold 1,000 of these last month.
Well,
Like,
look
yeah,
at
dude,
cardiac
it's just
burger.
salt, fat, and salt. Like, of course, people are gonna eat that shit.
Isn't it Cardiac Burger in Las Vegas that if you weigh in at more than 300 pounds, you eat free?
A guy actually had a heart attack
And died.
Yeah.
And he died, and they tried to sue him.
Yeah.
And then they said, "No, man, we told you guys." Like,
Don't
but yeah,
do
It's
it,
called
though.
cardiac burger, homie.
Yeah.
and you go and you weigh in front of everybody. If you weigh over 300 pounds, you get to eat for free.
Yeah.
There's lots of interesting developments
It's a
going
weird
on,
thing.
and different dentists feel differently about it. Typically,
About marijuana?
Yeah, for sure.
Older dentists hate it.
Yep, that's going to be what you
Well,
see.
it leads to heroin.
Yeah, but listen, I personally don't use it. I don't. I mean, I'm not a.
Right. Like, I personally don't floss, but I'm not against people who. No,
Right,
I'm kidding.
exactly.
I'm totally kidding.
Perfect. So here's my card, and come see me.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk.
For real.
So yeah, it's really interesting what's coming out, and I'm excited to see like more information. That's the
We're
driving
learning more and
theme
more
is
things.
More information is kind of needed here to see what the effects are, what its advantages, what its disadvantages are. Certainly not as carcinogenic as
Not at all. There's
tobacco
no
or
study
nicotine.
that links cannabis to cancer at all.
Right. So, in fact, there are some claims that it helps.
It does.
That it can help with some.
I had to tell Randall
know a
to
few
quit
people it's helped.
making love to a salad so loud. I'm sorry for our listeners. Kyle,
You just
I guess
sat there and
that's
ate a salad on the microphone, and now you're
No,
giving
I
Randall a
lead
hard
away.
time.
I just think it's adorable because this is an endorsement. This is the best endorsement for Kyle ever in Garden Monsters. How you were just like, oh yeah, it was so
He
good.
likes the salad. It's a good salad.
Should we roll into the quiz?
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, Ngaio, I have a marijuana
choice?
related quiz. Some of it's multiple choice,
Okay,
but
I'm
I've come up with a quiz which is usually food related. It's rapid fire. It's you versus Amanda is how this works.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there a buzzer?
There is not.
You know, I'm
just,
crazy
you
hyper
just,
competitive. I was
you
in a
just-
circle jerk once. I came in first and third.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Everybody's like, he won again. It's so weird.
Dude, we go hard in the paint.
You just
We
go. You
hard in
got
the
first
paint.
place again.
Listen, hyper competitive.
Quiz
I
is
wasn't
over. He just
kidding.
won. So
I wasn't
I
kidding.
apologize, Amanda.
I don't know. I never did that,
You
so I don't
certainly
have
can't.
anything.
You certainly can't top that. Okay.
Yeah, you good.
Question number 1. It's 10 questions. This is multiple choice. How many joints constitute? I learned a lot, by the way, when I was researching
Where
this.
are you getting this? Okay. Go ahead.
The World Wide Web,
internets.
so you know it's true.
So it's all true.
How many joints constitute a lethal dose of marijuana? A, 40, B, 400, C, 4,000, or D, 40,000?
40,000, but you have to smoke them in an hour.
Yeah, that's
In an
exactly
hour?
right.
Yeah. You have to smoke them in a small room. You have to smoke like 40,000 joints in a small room in an hour, and then you die.
It's
of
called the Therapeutic
asphyxiation.
Index, and it's every drug has what's called the Therapeutic Index, which is how much more do you have to ingest past the therapeutic result
before it kills you.
before it kills
That's
you.
physically impossible to do.
We tried it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, so
tend in, you're
most
like,
people say it's
man, it's
physically
not that
impossible.
important.
Okay.
Gonna
Which
eat
of the
and take a nap.
following was the most legally smoked strain of marijuana in 2014?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
A, Blue Dream, B, Afternoon Delight, C, Blackberry Kush, D, Bananarama.
No, it's
Afternoon
Blue Dream.
Delight.
Blue Dream. Blue Dream is
He is
one
a
of the most
judge at the Cannabis
singular
Cup.
Here's the
Listen,
thing about Blue Dream. Blue
Mana's going
Dream
to
is
complain
like-
that she's at a
How do you
disadvantage
explain
here.
it? Blue Dream is like, it is the best, but it's so popular that it's almost unpopular, and yet it's
Oh,
still
yeah.
really popular.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, because sometimes
like
like
a-
in my club or somebody's like, oh yeah, let's smoke some Blue Dream. I'm like, man, fuck. We smoke a lot of Blue Dream.
Like a Honda Civic.
And then you
Yeah.
smoke some Blue Dream,
Right.
you're like, man, this is really good. God, I see why people smoke it all the time. You get a good Blue Dream, you're like, man, this is delicious. It's like a nice IPA or something. You're like, man, I'm kind of tired of IPAs. And you get a good one. You're like, man, that's
There's a reason it's popular.
There's a reason it's popular. Blue Dream's not popular.
Okay,
because it's
Ngaio's
shitty.
off to a good start here. What does THC stand for?
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
He's good.
Delta
He's
9.
good. He's got a little bit of an advantage here. What % of people who try marijuana become addicted or dependent?
0.
A, 24%, B, 16%, C, 9%.
Is it 16?
9.
It's 9.
It's 9.
Yeah.
Less addicted than coffee or
And the
tobacco.
comparison is cocaine is 15%, heroin's 24%. That means 24% of people who do heroin will become addicted.
Yep.
9% have some kind of addiction or dependency.
And, like a weed addiction. I mean, I do know some cats who have had some problems with marijuana.
Yeah.
Well, 9% of
it's
cats.
Not for everybody. Well, but here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing. You can be a high functioning,
I'm high right meow.
high functioning stoner, of course.
Right.
Right. But then
Sure.
it's not an addiction at that point.
When I smoke pot, it makes
I
me
d-
clean the house.
Yeah.
It turns my ADHD around. It's super weird. It's not a sleepy time.
Yeah.
And they're like into couch, it's TV, whatever. Like if I get high and I'm home, I feel like the clean police are coming and they're gonna check some shit out.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So it makes me super efficient. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, back to the.
What,
sorry.
can you come over to my house and smoke some weed? Where are the heels? Sorry.
Which of the following?
You can't joke like that.
This is when you got to pay attention to, guys. Which of the following was not buried with Bob Marley? A.
Ulysses Grant.
Nope.
Oh, that's Grant's tomb. Sorry.
He was not buried with Bob Marley. That's a different time frame. A Bible. So we're looking for what's not in the coffin.
Got it.
A Bible. B, a bud of marijuana. C, a guitar. D, a letter to God.
He's buried with that really expensive guitar.
They didn't put the letter in there.
Yeah.
I got it.
The
I made that
guitar
up.
he was buried with
The
is
song he wrote is the letter to God. All his songs. are
Sure,
letters to
sure.
God.
I'll take that.
Oh, pirate ships they rob I. Sorry, Amanda. What were you
No,
gonna say?
I want to remember whose guitar. We were just talking about whose guitar he was buried with the other day.
Ulysses Grant. No.
Well, he really wants to push that Ulysses
Amy
Grant.
It was Amy Grant.
Amy
He's
Grant.
buried with Amy
Correct.
Grant.
Amy Grant. He's buried with Amy Grant.
Yeah, they put Amy
She's
Grant
still
in the
alive, but
coffin
they just
with.
put her in there, like throwing a virgin in the volcano.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, which U.S. president was a member of the Choom Gang, a group of boys who played basketball and smoked marijuana?
That would be Barack Obama.
That's right.
And he was known for hogging.
I can see that.
Also, JFK secretly used marijuana for his bad back for pain relief.
Really?
And Queen Victoria used it for PMS relief.
Well, have you
It all
watched?
makes sense to me.
Have you
Louis
watched
Armstrong
the
got a
series
hit
My
to
Buddy
it.
Bill?
I have not.
Oh, it's great. It's a nice series. It's anyway. I'll come back to this. He smokes weed. The guy. He was a writer for The West Wing. He ends up smoking weed with Bill Clinton and Billy Bob Thornton in Amsterdam. And
Sounds wild.
it's a really interesting story.
I know
It's a
some
true
cats who
story.
smoked some weed with Bill Clinton.
Yeah, it was after the presidency, but
All right. What famous dead
In
person
the White House.
had his ashes mixed with marijuana and subsequently smoked? This is multiple choice. And subsequently smoked by his surviving friends. A. Prince. B. Tupac. C. Kurt Cobain. D. Jerry Garcia.
Tupac.
Oh, I was completely wrong. I was going to say Hunter S. Thompson.
I was
I
gonna say
would go with
Tupac or Kurt Cobain.
Jerry Garcia.
Well, you got to choose one. You can't do this is multiple choice. Do you know how
Tupac.
you know how multiple choice works? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Was it
It's
Jerry?
Tupac.
It's Tupac.
Makes sense.
The young what's it called? The Young Outlaws.
I smoked
was
my
his
friend
group.
on accident
Yeah.
at a wake. I felt like I should have had the choice.
Didn't Snoop and Willie Nelson put up a song called "Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die"?
Yeah.
Yeah, that apparently happens. It's a little concerning because
I don't know if I would like to be cremated and smoked, but you could definitely like bury me under a marijuana patch and let
I
me
feel like I
nourish some
should have been
plants.
asked
Sure.
if I wanted to smoke our friend that died, and I just got
They
passed a
didn't- they
joint.
didn't ask you?
No, they just passed me a joint at the wake, and it had him in it.
as the
And I was
leading
not
medical
okay with
expert
it.
of this panel,
Oh,
I would like
so
to
many
recommend that
jokes
we
I can-
don't smoke dead people's ashes.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying.
You're kind of a doctor.
You're
I'm kind of a doctor.
You're a doctor of DS.
That's right.
It reminds
doctor
me
of
of
D's.
an old episode of Married with
Nice.
Children where they dump out the dad's his prized ashes in his barbecue, and he gets mad, and they're having a barbecue that weekend, so they take their aunt and put it in there to replace him. Anyway, I flash back to 80s sitcoms all the time. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have to explain an experiment for this next question. So this isn't as rapid fire. There was an experiment using spiders and psychoactive drugs, marijuana, LSD, caffeine. You might be familiar with this.
I saw the pictures.
Where they measured, they then documented what the drugs made them do as far as their web building.
Design, yes.
Yeah, so what happened is you have spiders that were on marijuana, and their webs were unfinished and scattered,
a little asymmetrical,
lazily done. Right? LSD had amazing geometric patterns that were very different. Caffeine, there was no change in the webs, just the spiders were going nuts. Okay? But the real kicker of this experiment, which I thought was interesting, how were the spiders given the drug? This is multiple choice. How the spiders
small joints.
How the spiders were given the drug.
They got 8 hands.
You gotta listen, okay? A, spiders placed in containers containing a gaseous form of each drug. B, flies were injected with the drug and then fed to the spiders. C, Q-tips with the drug infused on it.
Tampon enemas.
And then D, infused water sprayed onto spiders who then absorbed the drug through their skin.
These are Q-tips.
I'm going to say the spray.
No, flies injected with drugs and then
shit.
fed to the spiders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh,
They also
that's
used,
super
I thought that was the
interesting.
most interesting, but they also used sugar water. So they also used sugar water infused with the drugs too. But
Sure.
but it was
I
the
do that sometimes too.
flies being okay. Now this is a judge. Judge determines the answer of this. So there's no right answer yet. One of you will get the right
42.
answer. Name the best PR spokesman you can think of for marijuana.
Ngaio Bealum.
Okay, I'm gonna accept that because that sounds good. Sounds good to
In
me.
stereo.
Okay. Now
That was
name
so
the worst.
perfect.
Name the worst one. Name the worst PR spokesman that you could possibly imagine.
Brady
for
Smith.
marijuana.
No, Brady's a pretty good spokesman.
Can you?
Yeah,
Can
he's
you?
doing okay.
Can you top that?
There's a guy, Kevin Sabat is terrible, and
Okay.
he claims to be.
What's wrong with Kevin?
Well, he runs.
Fucking Kevin.
They're called fucking
Terrible
Kevin.
Kevin.
My only F on the whole show.
That's
He
all.
deserved it.
You can.
He runs a thing called SAM, which is like smarter approaches to marijuana, and so they're always trying to do things like,
Oh, freaking
okay, we
bookworms.
understand that marijuana is going to be legal, but you know we have to be super regulated, like yellow cake uranium, and he's full of lies and all this. He used to be a very staunch prohibitionist,
Mhm.
but then he realized that he can't win that way, and so now he's trying to
Prohibition is against marijuana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so now he's trying to
That ship has sailed.
prohibit through overregulation,
Yeah.
and that doesn't work either. So he's a bad spokesman. We get some. It's kind of funny because people try to kind of tone police cannabis culture a little more now that it's a little more popular,
Okay.
and everybody sees. Since the West Coast has all this legal weed, cats in like Texas and Nebraska and Oklahoma, they want legal weed too, and they're trying to figure out how to do it. And so they get on our case a lot of times like, oh man, that's just stoner culture, weed culture. You guys don't smoke weed and have fun. You're giving weed a bad name. Like, no one smokes weed to be fucking serious, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? That's some of the thing we get about the show. Sometimes you get a note every once in a while, man, you guys are just getting high and being silly. Well, yeah, man, we're on weed, brother. Nobody talks shit about drunk history. And those guys are hammered and passed out on the floor.
Yeah,
right?
puking and stuff.
We're just giggling and can't remember what we were talking about.
And I'll tell you, that's the argument that because I am like personally against. Like I'll tell my kids, I don't want you smoking weed. I would be disappointed if they did that habitually. But I'm not against it being legal. I think that's fine. In fact, I actually maybe have an even more extreme stance where I don't think any drugs. People want to do drugs, but they can do drugs whatever they want. But I do
I'm
think
with you on that.
I do think there should be stiffer penalties for hurting somebody under the influence of any drug, including alcohol and the legal drugs. Because if you hurt somebody because you're high,
you should still be responsible, right? Just because you're on drugs,
but I'm talking
doesn't mean
stiff. If you killed someone under the influence of alcohol, I think there should be. I think there isn't a punishment that I think is too harsh. I mean, I think it's really lax on people who abuse.
Not as lax as it was, but yeah, it's
yeah.
lax.
Where it was
So
like
I've had a strict no drugs till college rule with my kids since they were little. And
But
when they're adults,
they're adults, and they can make their own decisions.
But I'll
just gotta set
say
them up and give them
this:
tools.
as a kid that did not have a tremendous amount of, let me word this different. I was a sneaky kid. I was good at getting away with stuff, and I think about the stuff that I did getting drunk at parties, and then I think about getting stoned at parties without drinking. And, you know, there were times when you hooked up with guys because you were drunk and you were just no control. But I remember several times getting stoned at parties and really looking at the guys that you were with. And, like, they were, like, you see the pores in their face and they're all sweaty and kind of takes the filter down and they're not as cool and they're being doofy. And I would say if I had a teenage daughter and she was going to go to a party, and she was going to do one or the other, I'd be like, please don't drink.
Sure.
If you're going to do anything, just take a bong hit and call it good. Like,
100% agree. Yeah, that's what I was saying. What changed my mind, because I used to think like, well, whatever I think should be the law for everybody.
Yeah.
But and that's what a lot of people
how you end up with colonialism.
Right. So a lot of people still think that. But alcohol is by far, I mean, if alcohol is the metric and that's legal, you have no argument to say
None.
anything else.
None.
Because alcohol is terrible. Tobacco is terrible.
And here's the thing about alcohol, too. The United States isn't even in the top 10 of per capita consumption.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about how much we drink, and we don't even drink that much.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
I lived in South America for a few years. And the
Russia.
drinking that goes on
Eastern
there.
Europe, those
Yeah.
guys, man, they get hammered.
It's cheap in South America, too.
Yeah,
They get this
yeah.
pure, like, cane alcohol.
Everclearo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drank, I
It's
got
like
this
Spanish.
Jamaican rum one time, and I was like 23, and they said it was just rum, but it didn't really have a alcohol by volume thing on it because I bought it at some shop where I believe I could have also purchased a
Moonshine
Mogwai.
Man.
Yeah, it was like straight Mogwai shop,
Yeah.
and it was death rum. We called it the voodoo rum, and I was 23 and lived with my 23-year-old stepbrother, and that fifth of rum lasted in our freezer for almost a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was so
that
strong.
serious?
Yeah, like it ruined my 24th birthday. Like it was horrible. We all took a shot of it, and then I had a flask that was engraved with my name on it. We took all shots off that when we got to the Greek Cuisine, people from Portland, if you remember that. I don't remember anything after that and lost the flask.
Wow.
Yeah. All
Wow.
right. So,
Who won?
Ungaio won.
All right. Are
Ungaio
there more questions?
won. No, that
No,
was it.
that was
That
it.
was it. Yeah. And you're going to win with.
Would I win a salad?
You win a salad.
you want a
You
salad?
get a few olives. We'll give you some olives to
Give
go
you
home with.
a free
Yeah.
deep cleaning and some olives.
Yep, there you go.
Listen, one more thing I want to do before we wrap things up. I want to just repeat the
Dental moment.
the dental plug. I want we'd like to remind everybody
Dental
to
plug does sound
the
dirty.
dental
you guys.
plug. Yes. Want to remind
Sounds like the guy you buy your nitrous from.
Yeah.
right.
Plug is
He's
a
a good
word
guy.
meaning
I
drug
feel like he
Yeah.
told
States for the-
his
for the
when we had
younger-
Jessa
for the
Reed
older
on
people.
and we were doing her dental stuff, he was busy and I was unmanned at your clinic and I was walking around.
Yeah.
I feel like he had told his staff, be like, watch her. Oh, because I was like, where's the nitrous at?
She was all shifty-eyed, like looking at stuff.
Yeah.
listen.
I did raise an eyebrow at that for sure. But please email us at
Yes.
standupdiet@gmail.com. thestandupdiet@gmail.com, or you go to our website and you can contact us there, which is thestandupdiet.com.
It's truly a once in a lifetime
And
opportunity,
nominate
Brady. It's
somebody
super
you think
cool
is,
of you.
is deserving, and tell us why you think they're deserving.
Yep.
And
Can they send pictures too?
absolutely.
Send
The
us
more
pictures if
information,
you can,
the
yeah.
more information, the better. And I'm excited to sift through those and start working on this giveaway, and hopefully have something we can present to our audience close to Christmas
And
as a Christmas present. Seems appropriate
Yeah.
to give someone a nice Christmas present.
Please don't do the jackass approach where you like punch your friend in the face and then nominate them. Don't do that.
Right, or
I will
just
know.
like the
I will
grifters.
know. I
Yeah.
will know if you've done that.
You would know.
I would. Man, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, forensics.
Maybe. Yeah. Actually, I've always wanted that job, to be the guy who like identifies bodies with teeth.
Dental prints.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, teeth, like even like the.
Ooh, that's another show that we
Yeah.
could do. I've been watching Celebrity Autopsy, their final hours. It's pretty good.
Oh,
It's a little dark,
Yeah.
That's
Also,
ghoulish.
email
Okay.
us ideas of shows we should watch
'Kay.
and discuss.
It's a good place.
I'd like to know our audience's opinion on that. That'd be great.
It's a good place. I've heard about that.
Good show.
We want to
Okay.
thank Ngaio.
I would like to thank you, Brady, and you, Amanda, and you, Randall.
Thank you.
Well,
for
thank
having
you.
me over.
You're super
So
pleasant.
much love in
Thank
this
you.
room right now.
I can feel the love growing.
That's
and
What's
throbbing.
cool is we get to go make people laugh in Lyle and Ben this weekend.
That's right. You can see us in Lyle and
Visit.
Bend.
Go visit these guys. Yeah.
Come visit us
Yeah.
everywhere. Follow me on the social media, NGAIO420 for all things, Instagram and Twitter mostly, but I'm also on the Snapchat, mostly for lurking, send nudes.
there you go.
Nudes. That's super funny.
There you go. We're sending nudes to
Also,
Ngaio.
like us on the internets.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Tell them our internet stuff.
I'm telling them our internet stuff.
Tell them the internet stuff.
Why
the
are you
s-
telling
Do the
them?
litmus
Stand up.
configuration.
I told you to tell them, and you're not doing it.
Gosh, darn it.
Tell them.
Every
now you pissed off Randall.
Do you guys three men in a small room yelling at me? I'm gonna tweet.
just
I'm gonna
like
tweet about it.
church, just a
I'll
Wednesday
tweet
night.
about it on the Stand Up Diet on Twitter, Stand Up Diet on Instagram, Stand Up Diet on Facebook. You can go to our website. It's all follow us, subscribe to us, be our friends, come to our table, hang out, eat some food, talk about comedy and new chompers.
That's right.
Pimp my grill. I can't help it. I'm gonna
Thanks
stop.
for tuning in, everybody.
Bye.